Hello, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Jenny.
Hi.
Jenny worked with me at Eden Village this summer.
Great. Great. How you doing? How are you? Good. Want a book?
Sure.
Okay, so we're on page I think 109, right? Yeah. At Kabbalat Shabbat market. That's where we are. Okay, so the last stanza of the Chadadi is Boi B'Shalom, which we were just singing now, without the words. And so as you're familiar, during that last stanza, we actually turn around to the back of the shul and we say, "Come in peace, my Shabbos bride, Shabbos queen, and come and be amongst your people." Right? Yesterday we learned that Shlomo says, "What does it mean to be? What does it mean? How do you know that if you're really in Shabbos, if you're also really among your people?" And so now he's going to continue with another teaching over here, right? So middle of page 109, Baruch Kala Shabbat Malkata. How's your Hebrew?
Very limited.
Very limited. Okay, but you understand English.
Yeah.
Because I translate. Okay?
Yeah, I can read, but no idea translation-wise.
Okay, Achai v'rayai hayikarim, my dear precious brothers and friends. Tem yadim shekasher magiim leboi v'shalom. You know that when we get to the last stanza, boi v'shalom, come in peace, anachnu ma'alim et halev v'haneshama k'lapei ma'ala. We're raising our hearts and our souls heavenward. And I hope that at least most of you, im lo kulchem, if not all of you, hope that you've had an opportunity to be in a shul where people pray with all their heart and all their soul. There are some like that. Have you been to Mayanot on Friday night?
No.
Are you here for Shabbos?
No.
Are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mayanot and Rehov Narkis. It's like, you've been, yeah? Also, Beraz, like, there's a couple of really good places. Have you been?
No.
So are you going to be busy tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm committed for the next 4 weeks.
I'm committed for the rest of my life. Yeah, but when you're busy working at the hospital.
Yeah.
When you have a chance, you can come Shabbos morning. Yeah, good. Anyway, so my notes of the case is like, really amazing. Like, the place gets packed with
The floor shakes.
the literally, like, like there's some people that are wondering, like, how much longer is this going to last? It's an old building, it's one of those old Arab style buildings, but Baruch Hashem, like 200-300 people packing there. Also by Raz, like a huge number of people, and like there's real live singing and dancing, and it's really, really alive, So, so he says that if you haven't had a chance yet, like, find yourself a nice place to go pray. Like, have you been to the Moshav? For Shabbos, you can go, So, Boi v'shalom hu rega ma'od miyuchad. That last stanza that we sing, Boi v'shalom, come in peace, it's a very special moment. Bo kulam istovavim, mistaklim achora, everybody turns around, looks to the back, mishtachavim shalosh pamim, we bow 3 times. אתם יודעים חברים, מה ההבדל בין לצאת החוצה להתאוורר לבין לעבור דירה? What's the difference between going out to get some fresh air, to air out, compared to moving to another apartment? זה פשוט מאוד, it's very simple. אם יצאתי לטייל או להתאוורר, if I went out to just, you with me, you have a place now? Mm-hmm. I went out to take a walk and to get some air, ומישהו אומר לי, and somebody comes over and says, hey, שכחת את הרהיטים שלך בבית, you forgot your furniture. אני אגיד לו שרק יצאתי להתאוורר ולא לעבור דירה. So I tell him, obviously, I didn't come out, I'm not moving, I'm just came out to get some air. אבל אם אני עובר דירה ושכחתי משהו, but if I'm moving to another location and I forgot something, אני אחזור לקחת אותו, I'm going to go back to get it. So, בתחילת התפילה, page 110, בתחילת התפילה, at the beginning of the prayer, able to follow the words as I'm reading them a little bit? Yeah, good. So, בתחילת התפילה, at the beginning of the prayer on Friday night, HaKadosh Baruch Hu מקל עלינו, God makes it easy for us. הוא רוצה כל כך הרבה מאיתנו, he really wants so much from us, אבל הוא מקל עלינו, but he starts out making it easy. There's actually an expression in the Talmud that Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba b'tchunya im briyotav, which means that God doesn't come to us by storm. If we're being asked for something, that means that Hashem believes that we have the capability to do it. So, and God wants a lot from us, right? There's an expression in Yiddish, it says, Schwer zu sein a Yid. It's difficult to be a Jew. You ever hear that? Makes sense?
Yeah.
It's difficult to be a Jew. What's difficult about it? It's easy, yeah?
It's difficult to be a person. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult to be a person also, it's true. It's even more difficult to be a Jewish person. If you think about what God is demanding of us, like both in terms of how we're supposed to, how we're to relate with each other, and the obligations we have towards one another, and the obligations we have towards God, it's a busy life being a Jew. It's a busy life, right? And but it's also demanding. It's like, a lot is expected in terms of charity, a lot is expected in terms of kindness, a lot is expected in terms of studying of Torah. Everything is like, the story that Moshe went up on Mount Sinai and God said, would you like the Torah? And Moshe said, how much is it? He said, it's free. He said, I'll take 2. So we got 2 tablets. Right? Okay. Right. Miss, can you get the door, please? So, בתחילת קבלת שבת, בתחילת קבלת שבת, at the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat, כתוב, it says, לכו נרננה, come, let's dance, let's go sing and dance, מוישה ורבקה בואו, תצאו לטייל לקראת שבת, come on out, let's take a little walk towards Shabbos. עד לך דודי, אנחנו רק מטיילים. Until לך דודי, we're just sort of walking. אבל מלך דודי ואילך, but from לך דודי and on, אני כבר לא רוצה לחזור. I don't want to go back anymore. אני לא רוצה שוב לשקוע בבוץ של הגשמיות והתחרות. I don't want to sink anymore into the mud of materialism and competition. אני אומר לקדוש ברוך הוא, I say to God, שאני החלטתי לעבור דירה לשבת. I've decided to move. I'm moving into Shabbat. I'm changing my location. וכן השם אומר לי, so God says to me, אתה עובר דירה, you're moving, תסתכל, take a look, אולי שכחת משהו, maybe you forgot something. ואני מסתובב ומסתכל אחורה. So I turn around and I look back. Right? So Reb Shlomo is giving an explanation about, why during the Chadodi we turn around and take a look back. Eden, do you mind getting the door, please? Thank you. I'm psychic. I see through the windows. Thank you. So, what's this about? What's this about? What's this about looking back and seeing if you forgot something? What might you have forgotten? What might you have forgotten? What is it that you want to pick up? The table is straight. Make it like that, please.
You don't need to disturb people.
More. Good. Okay. Because I want to see Michal when he sits down. Yeah. What is it? What is this? What do you got to say?
Maybe
First of all, let's start like this. Let's start with. He's saying going into Shabbos is like moving in.
So you can see me better.
You're spoiling me. What does he mean by moving apartments or change? Like moving into a new home. What does he mean by that? In Shabbos, yeah.
I don't know. When I always have a habit of leaving my cell phone and stuff on like the seat, so I always have to look back to see that I don't forget.
If you don't forget
my
yourself,
belongings.
Yeah. Okay, good. But what does he mean by moving? Like that going into Shabbos is like you're moving into a new home, so to speak. What does he mean by that?
When you move, you have a fresh start. Like every Shabbos, you have a fresh start.
That's very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
A new reality.
A different reality, right? Like he used some pretty harsh words for the weekdays. He said that like I don't want to get stuck in the mud anymore. I don't want to get stuck in the competition, right? And anybody want to explain that? Because this world is a world of competition, right? Everything is like competition. That's the reality. Competition is not necessarily bad. I understand it is confusion also, but competition is like necessity is the mother of invention, right?
But you're not talking about in the spiritual realm. There is no competition. Everybody does.
So moving into Shabbos, right? is moving
to a different mind
towards a different mind space of no competition, right? We're all there as one. But Shlomo once put it this way, he said, what's the difference between math during the week and math on Shabbat? During the week, 1 plus 1 is 2. On Shabbat, 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. Yeah?
Good Lord.
I can never understand that. How can 1 plus 1 1 and 1 is what?
1.
So one.
Because
One person, the husband and wife.
Yeah, you can think of it that way, but the idea is that Shabbos is very much about unity.
Yes.
Okay? It's very much about unity. And
So the person is
so when we say during the week 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, that means to say that I might be together with you, but I'm still me and you're still you. So we're still 2. Okay?
Say that days of the week are days of divisiveness, of Havdalah. When we go back into the week, we do Havdalah.
It's another way of putting it.
Shabbat, it's a day of together. We'll become one with Hashem, moving in with Hashem. We're moving into Hashem, and Hashem is all one, and we're part of Hashem.
And that's supposed to be true during the week also. It's just that on Shabbos we don't do work, so it makes it more real.
I just want to say one thing personal about me. The name of the hospital that I was born in is Unity Hospital.
Good. So now you've been into unity right from the time you were born. Good.
Grand Heights doesn't exist anymore.
Is that what it means? That the person and God together is one?
And the people, yeah, everything, like to feel a sense of mamish unity. Yeah. Okay, so he says like this. So we turn around at L'cha Dodi, right? Did you forget anything? Did you forget anything? Well, what might you have forgotten?
Maybe you forgot it.
That's not. That's you're laughing. That's a pretty good answer. But so there's a story that I don't remember which Rebbe it was, but there was a certain Rebbe that was visiting a town that some big tzaddik used to live in, and he was looking for some people that may have met him. That may have met him. I think it was about the Chayze of Lublin. Anyway, they found one old woman that was still alive. That she actually was she helped in the house of this Rebbe. When she was a girl, she was an orphan girl, and she worked over there. So this tzaddik went and met with her, and he says, "Please tell me whatever you can, what you remember about life in the house of the." It either was Rebbe, I think it might have been Rebbe the Melech. I just don't remember the names right now. So she says, "I'll tell you what I remember most is Erev Shabbos, Friday afternoon. The Rebbe would come into the kitchen and he would go over to every one of the helpers, because hundreds of people used to come for Shabbos, and he'd say, he'd beg everyone, we'll answer this later. He'd beg everybody for forgiveness. In case I offended you this week, in case I didn't give you attention when I should have. And he went to each person that was working there and asked for forgiveness. And then he would go to his Rebbetzin, to his wife, and he would cry and he'd beg her, please, in case I didn't give you enough honor this week, in case I said something not appropriate or whatever. Mamish would just like pour his heart out saying, please, please forgive me. And I'm sure that he didn't do any of that, but still I can know that. So there's something that, you might have forgotten before going into Shabbos. You know what I mean? So there's luggage and there's luggage. There's luggage that you want to take with you, and there's luggage that you don't want to take with you. right? And then, you may have, like you're moving into Shabbos. Did you call your mother? Don't worry.
No, I have to call her. That's a really good
I'm old enough for
reminder.
it. Did I call my children? I'm old enough where else have to go. Did I call my
Yeah,
children?
good. Okay,
Or my mother.
you understand? Like you're going into Shabbos. Did you do those things? Like those are things that you really want to go into unity. So there are pieces from during the week that you got to bring in with you. You got to bring them in. You got to take them with you. You can't leave them outside, right? How, like I've heard of kids complaining, like that their father or mother are having this great spiritual experience and they're left outside, not getting it, not getting any of it, right? So now, what are you going to do? You're already doing boy v'shalom. What are you going to do? You're going to go call them then, right? So it depends where you're davening, right? So I'm just normally, I shouldn't say normally, but the way all this would normally be done, like for example, there's a little shul across the street over here. When they get to Mizmor Shir Yom Shabbat, that is exactly the moment of sunset. In other words, everything that they're saying beforehand is still weekdays. It's still weekdays. So if one theoretically forgot something, right, they will still be able to take care of it, at least for a few minutes. But the point is that there's an expression, like, we have this little piece of art hanging in the kitchen called, Misha Tarach Be'erev Shabbat Yochal B'Shabbat. One who did the work and the effort before Shabbos will eat on Shabbos. So it means everything from the mundane meaning of it. In other words, if you prepared yourself and you prepared your food, you'll have what to eat. And spiritually, it also means the same thing. If you put in the work to be ready to receive Shabbat, then you'll be nourished by it. You'll be nourished by it.
That's what you meant. That there was this Rebbe, an hour before Shabbos, he sat and he contemplated.
That also, yeah. See, there are people, by the way, like once a friend of ours came to visit from New York to Montreal, and this woman came along, and Friday afternoon, 2:00, and she's already dressed for Shabbos, and she's sitting and totally relaxed. And we don't get finished till like 10 seconds before Shabbos, whether it's summer or whether it's winter. So I said to her, I'm glad you're on vacation. You're taking it easy. She says, she's always like that. Friday afternoon by 2:00, she's always ready for Shabbos. Can you believe it? Already
No.
dressed. So I wanted, this was
isn't
like,
a fairy
this was surprising to me. So I asked her, like, so what do you do? So first of all, she was divorced. She had 4 kids. And she teaches martial arts to Bisyakov girls in the religious schools. But she's a black belt. It's a good thing I found out. And a real black belt in karate, and she told me that that's the way it is. She's just very, very disciplined. But the fact is that all these martial arts are very, very disciplined. I had a student in elementary school, the Solomon Schechter, and she was a gymnast, a serious gymnast. She would be training 4 hours a day. She was the only kid in class who always had her homework done. She wasn't a great student particularly, but the discipline, like she was totally disciplined. You know what I mean? Like, and it was amazing. So one day we're standing at recess. I said, "Show me something that you can do." And she's like literally standing in front of me, and all of a sudden she just jumps and does a backflip and lands on her feet, like, like, what? But she always had her homework done. She, like, people, there is such a thing as people who are disciplined, and everything is organized and so on. In any case, the point over here is that getting ready for Shabbos. And if you forgot something, like, like, as part of getting ready is like, okay, like, like, think about, is there anyone I need to apologize to? Is there anyone that could really use a phone call and a blessing of having a good Shabbos? Did I give tzedakah? Right? The custom that before you light Shabbos candles is that you give some tzedakah, right?
Part of the motto is saying, I forgive everything we're going to
The he wrote in there, yeah.
Who says that?
Every night before going to sleep.
Oh, that's in the Torah.
Kriya Shema Lamita.
It's a beautiful prayer.
Okay, so let's go on. Reb Tzadok HaKohen Melublin Omer Torah Mukah B'Shem Kol HaMekubalim. Reb Tzadok 110, the big paragraph, just before the middle of the page. Reb Tzadok HaKohen Melublin Omer Torah Mukah B'Shem Kol HaMekubalim. So Reb Tzadok HaKohen says this very deep teaching in the name of all the Kabbalists. He says, כשאני מסתכל אחורה, when I'm looking back, אני אומר לעצמי, I say, כמה דברים יש שעוד לא תיקנתי אותם. There's a number of things that I have not yet fixed. העבר שלי ממש כבד. My past is like really heavy. איך אני יכול לסחוב אותו לתוך השבת? How can I drag it into Shabbos, right?
Oh, no.
So, אז רבי צודק אומר, כמה זמן זה לוקח לתקן את העבר? How long does it take to fix the past? אם אני אנסה לתקן אותו, if I myself am trying to fix it, זה יכול לקחת מאות שנים. It could take hundreds of years. אבל בשבת, אסור לעשות כלום, we're not allowed to work on Shabbat. אסור לתקן. I'm not allowed to fix anything on Shabbat. In other words, even with myself, it's not time to work on to fix. אז אני רק מוסר את זה לקדוש ברוך הוא, so I give it over to God. לכן אני מסתובב, so that's why I'm turning around, משתחווה ואומר לקדוש ברוך הוא, and I bow and I say to God, אני לא יכול לתקן את העבר שלי, I'm not able to fix my past. בבקשה תתקן לי אותו, please fix it for me, אתה, תתקן לי אותו אתה, כי רק אתה יכול, because only you can fix it. Okay, this is not so easy to understand and so easy to misunderstand. What do you mean? You say to God, I can't fix my past, you fix my past. What's that supposed to mean?
The Aveira said, I did in the past.
Yeah, so if it's things that I did wrong vis-a-vis other people, Hashem is going to say, you fix it, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to say, I'll fix it. I'll go and send this guy an SMS and tell him that Shalom is sorry. So what does he mean? You can answer this question. What does it mean to turn to God and say, I'm not able to fix everything. Can you please do it?
Surrender. Go on,
elaborate.
It's allowing God to enter me, to help me. So it's like God can move mountains. You have to bring the shovel, sort of thing. I have to do it.
Right. You understand what Ben is saying? Ben is talking about, in other words, all week long, people think, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I can do this, I'm doing that, right? But then Shabbos comes, and Hashem is sort of saying, okay, stop, right? Stop working. And now we're talking on a more personal, inner level, right? Stop working. Oh God, what about the things that I didn't fix yet? Right? And I thought that by now, like that I would have had it all fixed. I would have had it all worked out already, and so on and so on. And I realized that no, I haven't. Like I barely made a dent, and just still got a long journey ahead of me. How am I going to go into Shabbos? So I say, so Reb Tzadok says, I bow down and we say, God, I realize that I'm not capable of doing this by myself. Can you fix it for me? Okay? So it's still not so simple, but I like what Ben said. In other words, there's an aspect to surrender. I don't know if you're familiar with the 12 steps, right? From Alcoholics Anonymous. By the way, Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twersky, ever heard of him? He's a Hasidic Rebbe who spent his life on helping people with all kinds of addictions. He was at the University of Pittsburgh. He had a clinic there, and he's written many books. We've got something going down here too.
He speaks here.
He lives here too.
He has a home here.
Now he lives here also. That's true.
The Jewish.
You see, look at the sector. Move this way. Look at me. You see, look down. There's a book called Living Each Day. To your right. Move there. Living Each Day. Yeah. This is just this is one of his nice books.
Mm-hmm.
This goes through the day by day throughout the year, and he has like on each page he has like a little teaching from the prayer book and something from the scriptures and something from the sages and so on. But it's all about being positive. It's all about being positive and so on. So what Reb Tzadok is saying is that, okay, this is just one of his books. There's a lot of, but there's a lot to be done all the time, right? Okay, so surrender is like saying, I admit I cannot do it all by myself. I need you, Hashem. I need you to help me. Okay? And he still hasn't explained how that's going to be the fixing. Okay? Still hasn't explained how that's going to be the fixing, but he it's something at least to start thinking about. Okay, we'll leave it for that. We'll leave it at that. So then he says the next paragraph. So then I bow again. I turn and I bow again, and I say, what about my present? I don't know how to deal with, how to protect my present properly. Because I don't know how to use my time properly. Sometimes people ask us a question, and we answer them with the stupidest answer in the world. Because we didn't even really pay attention to hear what they actually asked us. Right? Like people come up to you, they ask you something, and they're really asking you something deep, and we're not even paying attention, and we're not listening properly. So, in other words, we don't know how to be present in the present moment. So he says, do you have any idea how much we need God to help us at every moment? Every time you open your mouth, you have to pray 1,000 times. Master of the world, please put the right words into my mouth. Right? לפעמים אנחנו לא יודעים מי החבר האמיתי שלנו, מי באמת אוהב אותנו. Sometimes we don't know who is our real friend, who really loves me. ואם הקדוש ברוך הוא לא פותח לנו את העיניים, page 11, and if God doesn't open our eyes, לא נראה את זה בכלל, we won't even see it at all. לכן אני משתחווה ואומר, so I'm bowing and I say, בבקשה, God, please God, תאיר בתוכי את האור של שבת, please illuminate the light of Shabbat within me. שההווה יהיה כמו גן עדן. Illuminate the light of Shabbat so that my presence should be like in the Garden of Eden. כמו שאתה רוצה שיהיה. It should be it should be the way you want, as you want it to be. Right?
What was Shabbos like in Manhattan?
Vegetarian.
No, but
I would have been happy.
but Adam Harusha was amazed that thing. He thought he was going to die. It got dark and he thought he was going to die.
Yeah. After Shabbos, yeah. I don't know what it was like. I don't remember right now, but we say on Shabbos, one of the songs we sing is Me'ein Olam Haba, right? Shabbos, you can get a taste of it.
Guess I'll have to wait and see.
Another 26 hours, yeah. So, right, it's a tremendous thing to know how to be present in the moment, right? I think I told you this, or maybe I mentioned it next door. I remember at a concert in Montreal, Reb Shlomo was had a real difficult crowd, and he was begging the people to get up and dance. Did I tell you this already? No. And at one point he said, I know that when you're going to go home, you're going to say, why didn't I dance? Why didn't I sing along, right? And that happens, right? Like you're somewhere and you have an opportunity and something holds you back and you don't participate, you don't allow yourself to participate. And then when you come home, you say, why didn't I do it? I should have done it, like and so on, right? So very often, we're just so busy thinking about the past or so busy thinking about the future, and we don't realize how special the present moment is meant to be. Okay? So we bow and we say, God, please illuminate my heart with Shabbos, illuminate so that I can know how to be present, illuminate me so that I can speak the right words, right? The thing about speaking, there's a story that the Talmud says, Hamavet v'hachayim b'yad halashon. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So the story is that the parable is like this. That what do you mean? It's in the power of speech. Life and death is in the power of speech. So the parable that's given, it's an ancient parable, is that there was a king whose son was very, very sick. And the healer said the only thing that we know that can possibly heal him is he has to drink the milk of a lioness that is nursing her cubs. So who's going to go and milk a lioness? Anybody want the job? Right? So finally, they put out a big ad on Facebook, and anybody know how to do this? Finally, somebody came along and says, I can do it. So he had this whole technique. Every day he would approach the lioness up to a certain distance, and he'd bring along a little goat, which she was happy to receive. And every day he was able to get closer and closer, and she finally trusted this guy and allowed herself to give him some milk. He's walking back to the palace. He's got his little bottle of lioness milk. And there's a big argument taking place among the parts of his body. The head says, I'm the king. I figured out this whole strategy. The eyes say, oh, great, but without us, you wouldn't have been able to do anything. And the hands say, ha ha, without us, you wouldn't have been able to milk the animal. And the feet say, without us, you wouldn't have been able to go there. Now you wouldn't be able to come back. And everybody's claiming, like that they're the most important part of the body. And then the tongue says, I am the most important organ of the body. And everybody looks and laughs at the tongue. Ha ha ha. Tongue doesn't say anything. The young man comes up. He's in front of the king, and the king says, so did you succeed? What did you bring me? And he says, I brought you milk from a boar. And the king was like, his son is dying, and he says, kill this guy. And they take him out to execute him. And all of a sudden, the rest of the parts of the body say, you're the boss. To the tongue, you're the boss, you're the boss. So then they say, okay, so if you're so great, can you also save us? So he starts screaming, stop, the prince is going to die, it's really lion milk, and he convinced them to administer the drink and save the life. That's just a parable to explain how Mavet v'Chayim b'yad HaLashon. Life and death and life are in the power of the tongue, the power of speech. You can kill somebody with your words. You can save somebody's life with your words. And you can think of many, many examples.
Including on Facebook.
Facebook is treif.
You mentioned Facebook.
I know. It's because it's treif.
Because how many people died because of Facebook?
Yeah, it's treif.
Because of what people said on Facebook. Right,
So we need to pray that we should speak the right words. We need to pray, like Hashem, help me speak the right words. Your eyes. We need Hashem's help to see properly, to look properly, right? There's an expression in English: if looks could kill, I'd be dead, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes people look at you and mm-hmm. Sometimes people look at you and you feel like if they had daggers in their eyes, you'd be pierced, right? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes people look at you and you feel healed by the way they look at you. So Chaverim, and it's all about knowing how to be in the present. Chaverim, atem יודעים מה ההבדל בין הסבון שקונים בחנות לסבון של הקדוש ברוך הוא? You know the difference between soap that you buy at the store and soap and divine soap? סבון רגיל יכול לנקות מלכלוך שיש עליך עכשיו. Regular soap can clean off the dirt that you have on you right now. אבל לא ממה שתתלכלך בעתיד, but it can't keep you clean for the dirt that you're going to get dirty with in the future. אבל הסבון של הקדוש ברוך הוא, God's soap, סבון של שבת, Shabbat soap, יכול למנוע שתתלכלך בעתיד. It can prevent you from getting dirty in the future. ובכן, אני משתחווה פעם שלישית, and so I'm bowing a third time. ואומר, ריבונו של עולם, Master of the world, תשטוף אותי עם כל כך הרבה אור של שבת, flood me with so much Shabbat light, שאפילו העתיד, like rinse me with so much Shabbat light, that even my future יהיה כל כך קדוש, that even my future should be holy. Okay. הרבה פעמים, many times, כאשר שואלים אנשים על העבר שלהם, when you ask people about their past, הם מתחילים להתלונן, they begin to complain, ואומרים שיהיה יותר טוב בעתיד. They hope that it will be better in the future. וכאשר שואלים אותם על ההווה, and if you ask them, so how is the present going? הם גם אומרים, they say, מחר יהיה יותר טוב, tomorrow will be better. ולפעמים הם שואלים אותם על העתיד, and if you ask them about their future, אז הם יענו, then they'll answer, איזה עתיד, what future, אין לי עתיד, I don't have any future. Right? Now, there are people that are complaining about anything and everything, past, present, and future. אבל אצל יהודים אמיתיים, but by real Jews, זה מה שעושה יהודי לכל כך מיוחד. That's what makes a Jew so special. ולך דודי prayer, כשאני מקבל שבת, when I'm receiving שבת, אני מסתכל אחורה על החיים, I'm looking back at my life, על החיים שלי, ומשתחווה, אני בא ואומר, and I say, איזה חיים טובים, תודה מכל הלב על הכל. Wow, this has been a really good life. Thank you for everything. אני מסתובב ימינה, I turn to the right, מסתכל על ההווה, and I'm looking at my present, ואומר, and I say, wow, לא מגיע לי חיים כל כך טובים. I don't even know how I deserve to have such a good life. That sounds really weird, right? How many people do you know that can just turn around and look at their past and say, oh wow, it was all so beautiful. But the truth is it was. It's just that you might not have gotten to the place where you could see it yet. Truth is that the present is also beautiful. But there's revealed good and there's concealed good. So one of the things about Jewish faith is the belief that everything that God is doing is for the good. What we pray for, why do we pray if everything is good? We pray because we want it to be revealed good. We want it to be sweeter and so on. But still, when you're going into Shabbos, there's an aspect of there's a leap of faith that we need to make and to say, yeah, God, like this week has been really harsh, and but I'm trusting you that it's all for the good and that it's good, and thank you. Now the whole life, and it's not easy. Being grateful for something like when for your health and so on, that's sort of pretty obvious, right? And I want to just say a word of caution. This teaching is not meant that you should go over to someone who's suffering and say, hey, be grateful. That person, if you can help them in some material way, help them in a material way. Don't be religious on their back, okay? But it's a teaching for our own selves, you understand, to realize that I need to get to a place where I trust that God is good. And when I can get to that place, then I can be grateful for everything. Sometimes the biggest gift that somebody may have given you could have been actually an obstacle, and because of the obstacle, you grew and you developed and you became somebody better. Okay. So Rabbi Nachman, Rabbeinu Hakadosh, our holy Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov says like this: Lama ta'atzuv, why are you sad? Ki hakol garua, because everything is a mess. Aval ata yodea lama hakol garua, but you know why everything is a mess? Rak ki ata atzuv, only because you're sad. Right? It's another one of Reb Nachman's heavy statements. In other words, we think that, if I would have this and I would have that, then I would be happy and everything would be good. And since I don't have this is a mess, and therefore I'm sad. But Nachman is saying, no, things are amiss because you're sad. Now, it's very interesting. You can go onto TED Talks. Well, the TED Talks on YouTube. This is a series of thousands of amazing lectures, short 10, 15-minute pieces.
Some aren't so amazing.
Some are not. I didn't say you should watch all of them. Anyway, so you know that there's now a course at Harvard on happiness? So this professor that, I watched his little 10-minute spiel, and he says, he used to be like sort of like the dorm counselor at Harvard when he was a student at Harvard, part of his stipend was. And he says that, to get into Harvard is no easy thing. Right? You sort of have to have a PhD before you get in. You know what PhD stands for? Papa has dough. In any case, I mean, why anybody would want to spend $70,000 to go to Harvard? I'm just kidding. Okay. In any case, you know why? Because to be with other people who spend $70,000. That's why a lot of Americans come to Montreal to go to McGill, and it's much cheaper. Anyway.
They say that money can't buy happiness.
So listen to this.
I would like a chance to find out. Okay. So he said that he knows. So you would imagine that anybody that got into Harvard should be happy because it's a major achievement to get into Harvard. And he noticed that the first week, everybody that was there, all the new students were really happy to be there. Okay. But then a couple of months down into the term, he noticed that very few people were happy. So why aren't you happy? You've done this major achievement. So he started doing some research and he came to the conclusion that when you're happy, you achieve better, right? And it's not that achievement brings happiness, it's happiness brings achievement. And that's what we should say. You should get his name and send him this little clip over here from Reb Nachman and say, Mister, it took you a while to find out. Okay, but that's the way it is. Is happiness is what brings achievement, and it's not that achievement brings happiness.
How crude can we be in this room?
How crude?
Yeah.
Well, if you're asking, then the answer is you don't have to be crude. Okay. So Rachman says that בליל שבת אני רוצה לתקן את החיים שלי on Friday night. I want to fix my life. ולתקן את כל העולם. I want to fix the world. אני משתחווה ומודה על העבר. So I bow and I give thanks for the past. העבר הטוב for the good past. מבקש שאני ארגיש את כל המתיקות של ההווה. And I'm praying that I should feel all the sweetness of the present. וגם שהקדוש ברוך הוא ייתן לי רוח הקודש, and I'm also praying that God should give me the Holy Spirit, in other words, a spiritual sensitivity, שאני אראה בבירור את היופי של העתיד, so that I can see clearly the beauty of the future. And just one quick word about the Parsha. So this week's Parsha is called Mishpatim. It's all about all kinds of laws, business law, damages laws, and then at the end of the Parsha, it goes back to talking about what happened at Mount Sinai, and then it continues next week with the mitzvah to build the temple. And everyone's asking the question, how come all of a sudden in the middle, it's sort of bracketed by Mount Sinai, and by Mount Sinai and the temple, we have all these laws about damages and people hurting one another and what to do, etc., etc.
Why is it over here? And what many of the commentators are saying is, don't think that Judaism is about just some kind of a spiritual trip. The basic, real, down-to-earth Judaism is right here on street level, on ground level, the way we interact with one another. What do you do if somebody hurts somebody? What do you do if you find a lost object? What do you do if somebody told a lie? What do you do if somebody took a false oath? It's all about here. In other words, lofty spiritual exercises and lofty prayer, all very important, so long as it translates into a better life personally and in the community. If you're going to learn all these amazing things and it doesn't make a difference in what kind of a mensch you are, what kind of a person you are, so what? Big deal. Who cares? Right? Who cares? It's all about, do you know how to be, like Yus was saying, just to be a person, to be a good person is a major job. Right? So, have a good Shabbos. Anybody that's around, we're having third meal tomorrow at 4:45. Not tomorrow, on Shabbos. Today's still Thursday.
Gotta start thinking about showers.
4:45, yeah.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom.